However, she did not have to persuade her grandmother's sisters for a long time, out of disgust for vulgarity. They were so sophisticated in the art of hiding personalities under cunning allegories that a person often did not notice the hint. And my mother only thought about how to convince my father to talk to Swann, but not about his wife, but about the daughter whom Swann idolized and for whom, according to rumors, he finally decided to marry. Tell him 2 words, ask how she is doing. You can't be so cruel. Father got angry. Well, I do not. What nonsense is on your mind? It would be just stupid. The only one who was waiting for Swann with excruciating anxiety was me. The fact is that when we had guests in the evening, or at least only Swann, my mother did not come up to my room. I had dinner before everyone else, then I came to sit with the guests, and at 8 o'clock I had to go up to my room. I had to take with me from the dining room to the bedroom that precious, fragile kiss that my mother used to give me when I was in bed before I fell asleep, and while I undressed, protect it so that its tenderness would not break, so that its volatility does not dissipate and evaporate. But just on those evenings when I felt the need to be especially careful with him, I had to abduct him in a hurry, in front of everyone, without even having the time and inner freedom to bring into my actions the concentration of maniacs who, shutting door, they try not to think about anything, so that, as soon as painful uncertainty seizes them again, they victoriously oppose the memory of how they closed the door. We were all in the garden when the bell tinkled twice indecisively. We knew it was Swann, and yet we looked at each other inquiringly and sent my grandmother to investigate. Don't forget to articulately thank him for the wine, the grandfather advised his sisters-in-law. Wine, as you know, is wonderful. He sent a huge box. Just don't whisper. My great-aunt said. It's not very pleasant to be in a house where everyone is whispering. Ah, Swann. Now we will ask him what the weather will be like tomorrow, said the father. Mother decided that her one word would be enough to make amends for all the wrongs that our family had caused Swann after his marriage. She found an excuse to take him aside. And I followed her. I could not let her go a single step, because I was about to part with her and, leaving the dining room, go upstairs to my room, not consoled by the thought, as on other evenings, that she would come to kiss me. Tell me about your girl, Swann, said the mother. She probably already loves beautiful things, like her dad. Let's go sit on the veranda, grandfather said, coming up to us. The mother had no choice but to stop talking, but this interruption led her to a happier thought, the way the tyranny of rhyme makes good poets achieve perfection. We'll talk about her in private, she said quietly to Swann. Only a mother can understand you. I am convinced that her mother is of the same opinion. We sat around the iron table. I tried not to think of the dreary hours I was to spend alone, without sleep, in my room. I persuaded myself that this should not be upset, because tomorrow morning I would forget about them. I tried to concentrate on thoughts about the future, which were supposed to lead me, as if over a bridge, over a close and terrible abyss. However, my mind, overwhelmed with anxiety, as tense as the glances I threw at my mother, was inaccessible to external impressions. Thoughts penetrated into him, but in such a way that everything beautiful or even funny, capable of moving me or entertaining me, remained outside.